You're all welcome again to another awesome and wonderful time we'll be learning together. Once again, I am Mrs. Olainka, and today we'll be talking about English language. And in English language class today, we'll be looking at adverbs. We're looking at what? Adverbs. Adverbs. We'll be talking a lot of things you need to know about adverbs. I'm so excited to have you on this awesome learning platform. Now, I want you to come along with me as I tell you some things about adverbs. Okay, adverbs, try using some amazing adverbs in your writing. Anytime you want to write henceforth, try using some amazing adverbs in your writing. So, come along with me while I tell you what adverb is all about. Okay, let's look at the learning objective. What do I expect you to learn at the end of this class? I expect you to be able to define adverb for me, mention the types of adverbs, and then give examples of adverb. Do you get that? Should be able to define adverb, mention the types, and give examples of adverb. Okay, now let's come to this slide where we have what adverb is all about. Okay, adverbs are used to describe the way things happen. The way things happen. That is what adverbs are used to describe. You can see that bulb over there. How does it shine? It shines brightly. So adverbs tells us how something is done, why something is done, where something is done, when something is done, how often something is done. Do you understand? So that is what adverb answers, and so many other questions that adverb answers. It talks about how an action takes place, why the action takes place, where it takes place, when it takes place. Sorry, it's supposed to be when at the time, when it takes place, how often does it take place, and so on and so forth. So as the class proceeds, I'll be telling you a lot of things you need to know. You see, the man sang loudly. Look at the man singing. How did he sing? Answer the question, how. This tells us about manner, how an action is being done. Why? That's the reason or the cause. Then where? That's the place. When? That's the time. How often? Talks about frequency. Do you understand? Okay, so don't worry, I will be explaining all this to you in the slide. Just come along with me and pay rapt attention as I explain the topic very well to you. Okay, in another definition, I will say an adverb describes a verb, adjective, or another adverb. So when I ask you what is an adverb, this is the definition I expect you to give to me. You say an adverb describes a verb, that's the first one, adjective, and another adverb. Can we say that together? 1, 2, go. An adverb describes a verb, adjective, or another adverb. Can you see what adverb describe now? Describe 3 parts of speech. 3 different parts of speech. A verb, an adverb describes a verb, describes an adjective, and it describes adverb again. Okay, now look at this sentence. It talked loudly. You can see this loudly is describing this verb, talked. And then the second sentence is she danced beautifully. Beautifully is the adverb describing the verb danced. Do you understand? Okay, now let's go to types of adverb. Types of adverb. I have 6 on this picture. Okay, but I'll be adding 1 to it towards the end of the class, because if you look at it very well, you'll see that one of the adverbs is not there. So I'll be adding it to it at the end of the class. We have adverb of manners, adverb of time, of degree, adverb of place, adverb of frequency, adverb of comparative, and I have adverb of cause. That's reason. Adverb of reason. Okay, so I'll be telling you about adverb of reason so as well in the class. So we have 7. I'll be telling you about 7 types of adverb we have been able to identify in this class. There may be other types of adverb. When you get to the secondary school, you will learn more about adverb. But for the purpose of this class, I'll be giving you 7 types of adverbs and I'll be explaining them one after the other. Now let's quickly go to the first one, adverb of manner. You can see different kind of examples I have there. Adverbs of manner tells us how an action takes place. How an action takes place. That's what manner, adverb of manner does. Okay, you can see the examples I have below. Beautifully, boldly, bravely, calmly, carefully, cautiously, cheerfully, down to the last one, which is seriously. Can you all see clearly? Very good. So you can use them to make varieties on all manners of sentences. Look at the first one, beautifully. Someone want to give me a sentence with beautifully? Okay, good. She dressed beautifully to the party. Good. Now let's look at another one, boldly. Someone will give me a sentence with boldly. The head girl spoke boldly at the ceremony. That's very good. So you can see, it tells us how something is being done, or how an action takes place. Now let's quickly go to another one, which is adverb of place. Tells us where an action takes place. Tells us what? Where an action takes place. Okay, see, adverb of place answer the questions after the question where. Now, where are the toys? This where is the adverb of place. Then the toys are on. The on here is the adverb of place. On the floor, adverb of place. Then where is Zizi putting the toys? The where asks the question, and the way used in asking the question is an adverb of place. And then Zizi is putting the toys inside the box. Inside is the adverb of place. I'll give you more examples of adverb of place on the next slide. Look at them. We have about, above, abroad, anywhere, away, back, backwards, backward, behind, below, down, downstairs, elsewhere, east, far, air, in, indoors, inside, near, nearby, off, on, out, outside, over, overseas, somewhere, there, towards, under, up, upstairs, where. Can you see them? They are all adverbs of place. Now I have adverb of frequency. Tells us how often an action takes place. Now we have always, usually, generally, often, sometimes, occasionally, seldom, rarely, never. You can see the sentences that I've used them to make for you, even the picture. You can look at them very well and make more sentences for yourself. Then we have adverb of degree. It tells us to what extent an action is being done. To what extent. That is adverb of degree. To what extent something has been done. Okay. Now we have quite, fairly, a bit. Maria sings fairly well. The film is quite interesting. I feel a bit tired. So those words written in red, they are the adverb of degree. Tell us to what extent an action has been performed. Now we have adverb of time and purpose. Together, we have time up and the purpose down. Time tells us when an action has taken place, while purpose tells us reason why the action takes place. Okay, so let's quickly look at the example. She tries to get back before dark. That's time. It's raining to get dark now. It's starting to get dark now. Okay, now adverb of time. She finished at the first time. She left early time. Adverb of purpose, that's reason why. Now she drives her boat slowly. Why did she do that? To avoid eating the rocks. Then she shops in several stores. Why? To get the best toys. Okay, now let's quickly go to the evaluation page. I will be asking you some questions. I will expect you to answer them. So the first question I'm asking is, what is an adverb? I told you the other time that I'll be asking you this question at the end of the class. So what is an adverb? is a word used to modify a verb, an adjective, and another adverb. Good. Now let's mention 5 types of adverb. 5 types, okay, of reason, of degree, of manner, of time, of place. Okay, let me have some examples of adverb. You can pick them randomly. You may pick from manner, you can pick from place, you can pick from time, you can pick from degree. Just give me 5. Okay. Good. Okay. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I can see that you've been able to get 1 or 2 things from the class. I will expect you to do your class activity tomorrow as I was sending them to you, and try as much as possible to do it very well. I've been seeing some responses and some are doing very well, and there are some that really need to really push it better. So please, in your class activity, make sure you watch the video very well. You can make sure you're watching it, and as you're watching it, pay attention to every bit of what has been taught, so that when you do your class activity, you get all the marks. Like I said before, adverbs. Try using some amazing adverbs in your writing. So henceforth, when you're writing your letter, your story, whatever, try to put adverbs in the story. It makes your story very, very interesting and amazing. Okay. Thank you so much for your time. Take care of yourself. Be a good boy and a good girl. Bye.